Hey everybody, Scary Spikes here. Thank you for joining me for some more Learn2Magic. Of course, today we're going to be looking at the final color of the series here, which is green. So we're playing a mono green deck with a little bit of land acceleration and ramp in the likes of Cultivate, as well as the Elvish Pioneer here. And a little bit of fight spells, some draw spells, and of course some big bad fatties. And this seems like a pretty decent hand, so we're going to go ahead and keep that. And we're going to go ahead and play our Elvish Pioneer, which allows us to play another land tapped. So this is the kind of mana acceleration I was talking about, and green sort of does round out our series here. So we're going to be starting a new series after this. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments below if you have any ideas for any other series that you'd like to see on Mondays. Just anything at all, really. Whatever you'd like to see, whatever you think you'd enjoy, let me know, and I'll do my best to accommodate you. But nevertheless, I wanted to stick with, let's play our Visionary here to draw a card. He's tapped out, so that's why we're doing this pre-combat. Otherwise, we'd probably do it after combat. We didn't get a land, so that kind of sucks. But we're going to attack with the Pioneer. The reason why I decided to go with the monocolored decks for the series is I think that it best personifies the actual color in Magic and what it does. It shows the interactions and really the true colors of that particular color in Magic. So in this case, you know, we're looking at ramp and just really big fatties in green, just like we were looking at ramp or burn in red, and removal in black, and tokens in white, and a lot of control elements in blue. So hopefully that gave you guys a good idea as to what to expect from each of these colors. Finally we get another land here, which is really good. Now we've got a 2/1 here, the Wandering Wolf. Creatures with power less than Wandering Wolf's power can't block it. So anything that's got less power than this, such as the Elvish Visionary or the Pioneer here, wouldn't be able to block it. But fortunately we do have a fight spell. I don't know if I should use this right now. In fact, it's probably not a big deal. But I don't know, we could just Cultivate here, and I think that's the most important thing. So why don't we go ahead into combat, because we're not really too afraid of losing these 2/1/1s. And of course his creature's got a little bit more value to it, so it would be a little bit silly for him to block, but nevertheless 2 damage coming at him there. And we'll see what he does. If he blocks, great. If he doesn't, which it seems the case, then we're just going to play our Cultivate. So that's going to ramp us up a little bit. And with Cultivate we get to choose 2 lands, basic lands, and one of them comes into play tapped and one of them comes into our hand. And of course both cards are revealed to the player. Obviously the one that's coming into the battlefield is revealed, but we do have to physically reveal the one that comes to our hand also. So that does kind of suck, but at the same time, hey, we're already ahead in the game in terms of mana. So we're doing very well. He's going to Cultivate himself, so we are playing against another green mage here. Cultivate, of course, being pretty much a staple card in a number of different Magic formats. It did very well back in Standard, and it continues to do very well in EDH, specifically EDH. I don't know if it's really run in Modern that much. Probably not. I can imagine there's probably other cards that do better in Modern. Certainly getting 2 lands for 3 mana is really not bad at all, but he's going to go ahead and attack. We can't block anyway, not a big deal. We might just prey upon later, depending on what we get. Okay. Very interesting. So we're going to play a land for turn, and the cool thing is now we get to actually play one of our big fatties. The Vengevine's got haste, which is really cool. He's a 4/3 haster, which means he can go ahead and just attack or tap if he has an ability as soon as he comes into the battlefield. So the Summoning Sickness does not affect him, and whenever we cast a spell, if it's the second creature that we cast this turn, we can return Vengevine from our graveyard into the battlefield. That's really cool because we do have about 23-24 creatures in this deck. So the Genesis Hydra I don't really want to use right now because we don't really have... Well, we do have enough mana, but we wanted it. This is a really big mana sink. Essentially, when we cast it, we can reveal the top X cards of our library, and X is the amount that we get to pay in addition to the base casting cost here. And we can put a null-land permanent with converted mana cost of that number or less from among those into the battlefield, and then we shuffle our library. And also Genesis Hydra comes in with that many +1/+1 counters. So we definitely want to use that as a mana sink to be able to put as many counters on that as possible and just drop a big fatty into place. So that's really good. And of course the acolyte, or sorry, the disciple here, Nalia's disciple, giving us life equal to the number of devotion to green that we have. And the devotion to green is basically the amount of mana symbols of that particular color in play on the permanents that we control. So in this case right now our devotion to green is 2. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and play the Vengevine here. It seems like probably the best deal. We don't need anything much bigger right now, especially since the Arbor Colossus has got reach. He doesn't have any flying or anything, so we can play that later. And the nice thing is now we can actually prey upon. And he's tapped out, so we're going to prey upon, we're going to use the Vengevine to fight that. So the Vengevine will end up having only 1 health, but it's not a big deal because he's tapped out, so there's not much he can do. And we're going to go ahead and ship the team for 6 damage. And in Magic the Gathering, at the end of the turn, all of the damage that's been assigned to creatures, if it wasn't enough to kill them, just gets reset. So as you can see here, the 4-3, as opposed to just being a 4-1 as it was just moments ago. And he gets to untap, and we'll see what he plays. Okay, so he's going to play another one. I'm not sure if at this point of the game it's actually going to help him. Let's see here. Military intelligence. Whenever you attack with 2 or more creatures. Alright, so he gets to draw a card whenever he attacks with 2 or more creatures. So they don't necessarily have to do damage. And in this case, I think it would be fairly pertinent to try to keep his creature count to under 2. But let's see here. We've got a Visionary that we can use. That would leave us with 3 mana, which wouldn't really let us do anything else. But, on the other hand, I think we just attack, but we do run a Craterhoof Behemoth in here as well, which would pump these guys up significantly, so I don't necessarily want to lose my 1/1s. At the same time, it would be good to, it would be a good trade against the 2/1, so why don't we go ahead and attack first. I'll just ship the team once again. So he's at 11 life. And we're presenting 6 damage here. He can decide to block. He can probably chump block the 4 if he wants to. I don't think so. He's going to be at 5. And I wonder, what other colors is he playing? Green, blue, and red, it looks like. I don't have access to those lands underneath. I wonder if I just play the Arbor Colossus here, and I think that's probably the best thing to do. Because if we play the Elvish Visionary, it's not going to be able to block that. So let's play the Arbor Colossus. And hopefully he doesn't have any removal for that. The Arbor Colossus is really nice. 6/6 reach, Monstrosity 3 for 6 mana. So basically we pay 3 green, 3 of any color, and it becomes monstrous. And when it becomes monstrous, there's usually an effect that happens, although not always. And the number beside the monstrosity is how many 1/1 counters get placed on it after it becomes monstrous. What's he gonna do here? Raised by Wolves. Enchant creature. When raised by wolves enters the battlefield, put 2/2 green wolf creatures tokens onto the battlefield. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each wolf you control. Okay, so I guess it's gonna be a 5/4, yeah. Okay, that's still not really a big deal. And we do have a 6/6, so playing the 6/6 was a really good idea here because now he's not gonna attack. And we can continue to push through damage. And this is actually what we wanted here, to play the extra land. We've got 6. I would prefer to play the Genesis Hydra for a little bit more than that, but considering that we sort of want to push through as much damage as possible, I mean, he's at 5 right now, so he's going to be forced to block if we do attack. And this is 4 and this is 5/6. Okay, so here's the plan. We're not going to play the Hydra quite yet. We've got 6 mana available, and we've got the Nylea's Disciple as well as the Elvish Visionary here. So what we can do is we can attack with both of these. And my guess is that he's going to throw the 5/4 in front of the 4/3, and then we can play these 2 creatures to get the Vengevine back. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll attack with just these 2. Or he could double block. He could probably double block the Vengevine. That would be another option for him, not to lose his 5/4. But the thing is, if he double blocks, the 5/4 gets much smaller anyway, so he might as well Okay, so he's going to block the 6. And he's going to take... Is he just going to take 4 here? I think he's trying to figure out... He would have to have blocked the 6/6 anyway. I'm not sure what I was really thinking there, but... Yeah, he's at 5 life, so at this point I think he has to block or he's toast. Yeah, so he's going to throw the 5/4 in front of the 4/3, and then he's probably going to chump block the Arbor Colossus, leaving back a wolf. Yeah. Okay, so he survives. Vengevine dies, unfortunately, but we do have enough creatures in hand to bring him back. So that's that. So we're gonna play it in this order. We're gonna play the Visionary first, and then the Disciple, because the Disciple gains us health based on how much devotion to green we have, and we would have 1 more devotion to green if we played the Elvish Visionary first. So we're going to play the Visionary first and draw a card. Is he just reading this, or does he actually have a response for 1 mana? I think he's just reading it. So we draw a land, and then... Why did that just happen? I have 4 mana. I don't know why the turn just automatically passed. That's really interesting. I'm not sure why we weren't able to play the Disciple. The turn literally just passed by itself, which shouldn't happen. I think the game just bugged out or something. That's unfortunate. But nevertheless, I don't think he's going to be able to do much at this point. I think it's just game. He's at 5 life. He's got 1 creature left behind. And he's got 3 cards in hand, so he could possibly have some small creatures to block. But he's finding himself in a somewhat difficult position at this point, because we still have the Nylea's Disciple, we still have a Genesis Hydra, and we have another land in hand now too, which we drew off the Visionary, so we could play the Hydra for 1 more, as opposed to if we just played it last turn. And I don't know if he's just taking time to consider his possibilities or his opportunity here to do anything, but I don't think he's got much, so... I think I'm just going to wrap it up here, guys. It looks like this game is going to be over, so thank you very, very much for joining me. It was a very fun series. What is this? Masked Admirers? Okay, he's going to draw a card. It's been a lot of fun. I'm going to be moving on to Legacy of the Void very, very soon, so make sure to check that out. And keep an eye out over on the official blog, sspgaming.blogspot.com, for all the latest news about what's going on the channel. Of course, if you like what you see, or if you've got suggestions, make sure to leave your comments in the comment section below rather. And of course, make sure to thumbs up if you like what you see, thumbs down if you don't, and subscribe if you enjoy the channel, because it really does help me out. He's going to get rid of our Arbor Colossus, but that's okay. Not really a big deal. He's not going to be swinging with his 8/1. So that's going to do it here, guys. Let's just... Well, I think we're going to win in 1 more turn. I think I'm going to play the Nylea's Disciple first. He's out of cards anyway, so we're going to gain a little bit of health. And we should win probably next turn. I don't want to play the Hydra right now. We should win next turn. He's got a 2/2 and a 3/2. I'm not really worried. I've got blockers if need be. And if we end up actually drawing the Craterhoof Behemoth, it's going to be pretty devastating. So we'll see what happens. Let's pass the turn. But yeah, I had a lot of fun in this series, guys. I was thinking actually about making an actual Magic video, or a few Magic videos, where I actually go down to my local store and play EDH with some of my friends and basically give you guys some insight into some of the interactions. Of course, there's a mix of people watching between new players and old players alike. So let me know what you'd like to see in the coming weeks. Of course, like I said, Legacy of the Void is going to be pretty big. Should be getting a key for that within the next week or 2. As described by Blizzard, so hopefully you guys will enjoy that. Genesis Hydra for a lot here is going to be nice. So I don't think I want to go to combat, but let's play Genesis Hydra for 6. Alright, so we got a couple of options here. Paragon would be sweet, but so would Terra Stomper, 8/8 Trample. I think I'm going to go with the Terra Stomper, honestly. The Paragon is a lot cheaper, so we'll take the Terra Stomper. Very nice. Alright, so we've got a 6/6, an 8/8, a 3/3, and 3 1/1s. And might as well put the pressure on. And we'll see what he does. Yeah, I'm just going to block with a 3-2. That's fine. We've got a 6-6 and an 8-8 trample coming at him next turn, and again, if we draw that Crater Hoof, it's going to be absolutely bananas, but he is only a 1-of in the deck, so it's not very likely, but it is definitely a nice win condition just to have a bunch of these 1-1s out and then just play Crater Hoof. He's going to play a Young Wolf. He's trying to put as many blockers as possible, but I feel that with the 8-8 trample, he's going to have some trouble. He's going to be able to block 3 of it, so I mean, yeah, he's still taking 5 just off of that. So it looks like it's going to be game, unless he can play something big. There's another Masked Admirers. Another 3-2. So he's keeping himself alive. If we end up attacking only with the Terra Stomper, he's blocking 3, 4, 5, 6, so he's going to be taking 2 from that, plus the 6-6 and plus the 3 1-1s. That should be more than enough to do him in, and we've got the Garrick's Pack Leader here as well. Which supposedly I should have played first, actually. Now in hindsight that I look at it, we would have been able to draw cards. Because the good number of creatures in this deck do come in with the power of 3 or above. Oh, that happens. You have to be very vigilant about that. So, here we go. Let's declare our attacks, and he's got 3 blockers, but I mean, he's gonna have to put a lot of those in front of the 8-8 trample not to lose. So let's just attack with everything, and I think we still win here. 2, that's 8. Yeah, it's not really gonna matter. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video.